Hello and welcome, especially to you Oliver Anthony fans. You are now 2/3 of my channel's subscribers. And because we were all so inspired by a song and how it tells this plight of the working person who can't get ahead no matter how hard they try, the system is rigged against them. I wanted to lay out 7 steps for people who are feeling discouraged, feeling stuck, like how can you change your circumstances? So the first step is to make a decision. If you don't like how your life is going, decide that things will get better and you won't give up until they do, because you're worth it, you deserve it, and you are ready for change. So make a decision and don't look back. Start focusing on becoming the person that you aspire to be, putting your energy there, putting your time and your effort there. That may sound simple, but it's not necessarily easy. It is easy sometimes to focus on the things that aren't going right, to look at all the things that have happened and feel that the deck is stacked against you, or to put your attention on the boss or the ex or the circumstances that are dragging you down. And believe me, I have spent my share of time there, and I realized that until I changed, that the change had to start with me. And it starts with a decision. The word decide comes from the same root as the words suicide, homicide. Yeah, sounds kind of violent, right? Because that's talking about death, and a decision is killing off all other options. Kill off all other options, but the new choice that you decide to make. Number 2, you've got to choose a strategy, because doing what you've done has got you thus far, and maybe it feels like progress, maybe it feels like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But in order to make more progress, you will need a strategy. I want to show you, I'll put it up on the screen here, my friend Kim Butler years ago in her book, Busting the Financial Planning Lies. This was in there. It is the prosperity ladder. I love the basics here. It gives 3 simple steps that, we all start broke, and whether you're born broke or whether we end up there later in life, and we've got to earn. That's the first step, is to earn money. But then the second step is, unless we are earning more than we spend, we are going to go backwards. And so we've got to learn to save. And we save before we invest, because without savings, the investments have no protection whatsoever. And if you're putting money in a 401k and then the car breaks down, now you're pulling money out of the 401k, you're paying extra taxes, you're paying fees on it, you may be having to sell stocks when they are down. And so we want to save before we do anything else. We want to build up a buffer, and then we want to move into investing. And I love the word that Kim uses for this. She uses the word own, and I love that word because it really speaks to owning assets, not just always investing in something else and somewhere else. Even when it comes to something like retirement accounts, 401ks, we've got limited control of those things, which is why owning land, owning a home, owning a business, owning assets that we can control is so important. So in choosing a strategy, you've got to pick a path. You want to accomplish one main goal, and that is to earn more than you spend. And there's a gazillion ways to do that. It could be through your job or through your career. When I was a teenager, my mom realized, she was a school teacher, and she realized she was going to soon become the breadwinner of the family. And, she had 2 kids and a home that she, had to maintain. And all of this on a teacher's salary could have been challenging, but she went back to school, went and got her master's degree so that she was able to earn more than she had in the past. Pay for a teacher is based on both your education and your experience, and she worked herself to the top end of that pay scale, and that ended up being enough. My mom is one of my heroes, and she did what she needed to do to make the most out of the career that she already had, and she made it work. Now, your path may be a business path. You may be a crazy entrepreneur like me. Maybe you're a salesperson or an independent contractor. I've been a realtor. I've been a marketing and financial writer. I've been a coach. I have a recent video where I talk about different ways that I've made money over the last couple of decades without a job. It's a good video, but I have been self-employed that entire time. For some people, it's going to be a side hustle. And maybe that's a job, maybe it's something else. For some people, it may be Uber or, picking up some shifts at a local restaurant. It could be 100 things, from dog sitting to writing resumes. But side hustles are totally legit. You could become a hardcore saver. And if you've heard of the FIRE community, FIRE stands for financial independence, retire early. These are oftentimes people who earn a pretty good living. A lot of them are in tech, but they decrease their expenses so that sometimes they are saving half or more of what they are earning. Now, it helps if you have a partner or a spouse, but not absolutely necessary. A lot of times people who are working towards early retirement, they will get rid of their cars and ride a bike, or there may be 2 or 3 people in the household sharing a car. They oftentimes go through extreme changes in order to radically decrease what they are spending. No eating out at restaurants. That would make me a little sad. I should do a whole other video about this, what I love and don't love about the FIRE movement, but it does work for some people. And you might have a side business. You might use real estate investing is a really great one. You may already own a home or be renting a home, and there's ways you can make money with that home if you've got an extra room that you can rent out, whether that's Airbnb or a long-term roommate. Or I even owned a rental home once where we rented the home to one family, and it had off-street parking and pretty decent storage, and then they had this huge garage off of the alley, and we rented that to a different family, and that allowed us to collect more rent for it because the family renting the home couldn't really pay all that much. You might already have a business and you can expand it in different ways. You can add another product, another service, etc. You can take your expertise and find different ways to earn money from that, whether it's from YouTube or writing books or doing a digital course. If you're already some kind of an expert or a coach, it can be pretty easy to add an extra service, maybe adding a membership group, etc. Total Wealth has been my business for a long time, but it has gone through a lot of twists and turns. I started out doing workshops, and then I got a coaching certificate and went into one-on-one coaching. Then the Great Recession hit. That was not so great for me. And I started supporting other professionals, other financial professionals, through doing marketing, writing, and newsletters and emails and ebooks and blogging. Learned a lot that way, a lot that I then was later able to apply to my own business when I started focusing once again on coaching and on courses and content creation. But there have been some common themes through all of that. I've never been a big fan of feeling that Wall Street really has our backs and we should just give them all of our money and trust them with it. I've always been a big fan of diversification and entrepreneurship and things that your financial advisor is probably not going to talk about. So whatever kind of path you choose, there are some questions you can ask yourself. Am I looking for a long-term fix or sort of an immediate fix? If you need money right away, don't go build a YouTube channel. Go get a job. Go get a side gig that's going to pay you immediately. But if you already are in a place where you're sustainable, then that's a great opportunity to go plant some new seeds and grow a money garden, grow an orchard, start to do things that are going to pay off down the road. Number 3, you want to learn what you need to know to get started. You don't need to know everything, because sometimes we use learning. We have this sneaky thing, I don't know if you've ever done this, where we use learning as a way to avoid doing. So just learn enough to get started with whatever your plan or strategy is. When I started Total Wealth, and it started out as workshops in my living room, I was building that curriculum week by week by week. I don't even think I charged the first group of people that came through it. And at the end of 13 weeks, their lives were changed. My life was changed. I started then charging, started increasing my prices. Some of those exercises that I developed and, trialed in my living room, some of them I'm still using today. I've got a class that I took online several years ago called Rewrite My Money Story, and some of that literally started in my living room 18 years ago. Now I'm learning YouTube. I'm doing more content creation. I'll be writing another book soon. I've got one on Amazon that I co-wrote with Kim Butler. We've got a book called Perpetual Wealth, which is about generational wealth, and also life insurance, which is Kim's expertise. It's a great book. Check it out. So be okay with just starting where you are. When I started this channel, I didn't do any editing at first. I didn't know how to do any editing. I just knew, I knew how to record on my iPhone, and then I learned how to upload things to YouTube, and I learned how to do thumbnails. You don't even need to do thumbnails though. And then every week I work on maybe learning one thing about how to edit better or how to do something better. Number 4, take committed, consistent action. Take the actions of your future self, of the person you want to become. I love James Clear's quote, "Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become." Your actions that come from the decisions you have made and the path you have chosen, those are the actions that are going to produce your results. And of course, your habits, those are the actions you habitually take or don't take. Those are going to be especially important. Now, a word about change. Change can be difficult, and you should expect resistance. If you think about a rocket that is trying to leave Earth, it's got to get up a certain amount of momentum because gravity is trying to pull it down. This is called escape velocity, when the rocket finally gets up enough power, enough momentum and speed that it can break free of the gravitational pull. You can think about your own life like this. What do you need to do so that you get up enough momentum to break that gravitational pull of where you've been, where it maybe has been comfortable, but not so comfortable because you're ready to expand yourself and your future. And sometimes the biggest challenge with taking action is just like doing it, getting it done. I find sometimes time blocking to be very helpful, removing distractions. If you're starting a side gig or a side business, or you're writing a book or starting a YouTube channel, if you can put 12 hours a week into it, this might be 2 hours, 6 days a week, or 3 hours, 4 days a week, or maybe 2 blocks of 6 hours where you eliminate distractions and work on the thing that you're committed to accomplishing. And remember, progress is way more important than perfection. Number 5, course correct as often as necessary. This may involve making new decisions. This may involve learning new skills, changing your behavior. A long time ago, I used to own a restaurant, and I finally got out of that by going into real estate sales, by becoming a realtor. I was able to triple my income in about a year. It was a whole new world. Commit to something new. You've got to keep learning, keep applying that learning to action, keep moving forward. You're going to learn skills, you're going to get better. Speaking of which, I have done entire videos where I have forgotten to simply say, "Hey, I'm Kate Phillips. Please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment." And before I forget, I'm inviting you to download my 22-page guide. It's a mini ebook called Breakthrough to Abundance, the 4 Reasons You're Stressing Over Money and How to Break the Cycle Forever. You'll see the link in the pinned comment, totally free. And then you'll learn when I'm doing something like a masterclass, which I'm doing soon. Number 6, get the support you need. Not very many people succeed in a vacuum. For most people, having a coach, a mentor, accountability buddies, having somebody that you can ask questions and get feedback, having somebody who's further along than you. I think reading books, watching videos, they're great, but a lot of times the real progress happens when we can ask questions, get support, we've got accountability, we've got camaraderie, and we don't feel alone. Be willing to get feedback, but also be willing to take imperfect action. I can look at almost any video that I've done and say, oh gosh, it could have been better in these 5 different ways. But you have to just be okay with being on the learning curve with whatever you're doing. One of my mentors said, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly to begin with. That sounds like a funny saying. It really means that if something is worth doing well, it's also worth learning and going through that learning curve, that messy learning curve when we're doing it poorly to start, because that is the way that we get better. And number 7, don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. Do not quit before the miracle. Resting is fine, but don't give up. Do what you need to do to replenish your soul, your spirit, your body. Maybe that means taking a day off or a week off. So if you feel like giving up, look and see if maybe it's just time to course correct. And maybe things haven't happened as quickly as you wish, but maybe it's time to just adjust your timelines, give yourself a little bit of grace, and keep moving one step at a time. I'd love to know your takeaways. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you got out of this. Remember, you are powerful, you are prosperous, you are free, and you deserve a second chance at wealth. See you next time.